Unfortunately with me, like, if there is a flaw in your product,
gonna find it?
Yeah. Like, that is,
dude,
like,
I swear to God, that's how I felt this entire time with my RV.
350Z is probably like the best starter car today, because you think about it, like, you can find a fully running car for like $4,000. Minimal upgrades past that point, like sub 10 grand, dude, you can have a car that makes almost 300 horsepower and can drive all day. That thing lasted 6.5 years.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in a video one time. I think it was Larry Chin's or something like that.
Yeah, dude. And then we changed it because we just felt like, how long do you really want to let your luck last, right? You know?
You had to cut yourself short.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy.
Welcome back to the #1 Drift Podcast on YouTube, presented by Injuku Racing. My name is Dawson, and today we have...
Ryan.
Oh yeah, Ryan Litteral. Most of you probably already know him from FD. We're actually here at Road Atlanta for FD Atlanta. I'm only going to be here today, but you're going to kill it all weekend. I already know you will.
Yeah, God willing.
Don't sound too confident, okay? Shit.
No, we feel good. It's been a lot of effort to get, to get the car turned around after Long Beach, and getting everything set up. The whole setup, everything is new. So it's been a lot to do in a short amount of time.
Got some kinks to work out, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like with anything, and it's funny. Some members of my team are like, just stop growing. Like, let us catch up.
We can't breathe. Fuck.
Yeah, I know. It's just stop growing at the ambition, But no, it's really fun, man, and it's really exciting. It's a lot of hard work to run at the level and to be kind of where we're at with what we have things now. So I'm grateful for the challenges, and I love the pressure.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
It's definitely inspiring to see what you're doing so far.
Sick, man.
But of course, just before we get all into that stuff, look below the video. Make sure the subscribe button is not still red. If it is, go ahead and click that and hit the bell notification while you're at it, so you never miss an episode. And don't forget the wiring specialties discounts, 10% until I think July or something like that. You got like 3 months. So use the link in the description. Get that while you can. And then, actually, I just told you this before. I didn't plan this, but his Media Guys episode was right before this. It just kind of worked out this way, but here you go. So,
and I haven't seen it either.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen it.
It hasn't even come out.
No.
At this point in time, but
right.
Yeah. So if you want to kind of give a little introduction on who you are,
sure.
Being the Mr. Controversial of FD.
Oh, is that what I'm known as?
Well, it seems like, dog. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, with the whole RV Army versus 2JZ, yeah. It's a fun thing, and it's not like that was predicated on anything new. It was just, we kind of took like an existing feud, like amongst the platform itself, and amplified that through what we do here with Formula D and drifting, right? And yeah, I mean, I'll just be real. I got hosed on that whole thing. Damn. But you know what, man? I'm really grateful because I've learned so much, and I've been able to get aligned with really top-notch people that want to see the platform succeed. And it's very rewarding. Like last year, we had a great year. Last year, even though we had some kinks to still work out in other areas, we had one engine all year last year, and so that was an amazing feat for us, and we were confident in it enough to run it again because all the numbers checked out before we went in for Long Beach. But unfortunately we had a camshaft failure, and which is just, even further inspecting the part, it just, it just wasn't a truly finished piece. And with this car and this
what do you
program,
mean by finished? It wasn't a finished piece?
Like the fillets, meaning like in between the journals on the cam, there was still a lot of stress risers that were on the cam just from it not being like turned down in a lathe and like really being like highly finished. Okay. It proved to be a weak point in the cam, and that's why.
What kind of cam was it?
The Tomei Yosei cam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
Damn,
they're
that's
factory-like regrinds, from my understanding, which, you know, a lot of companies are like that. But, I mean, it's funny.
I've only ever heard good things about Tomei anyway.
I've ran Tomei stuff for years.
Yeah.
Like I mean, to me, that's like, it would be like a go-to, right? In your brain, you think Tomei, you think top-notch. But, I mean, things do happen, bro. And
Absolutely. There's always mishaps.
Yeah, and unfortunately with me, like, if there is a flaw in your product,
gonna find it?
Yeah. Like, that is,
Dude,
like,
I swear to God, that's how I felt this entire time with my RB. It's been nothing but a
that's
nightmare.
right. You're an RB guy, right?
Absolutely.
What RB do you have?
RB25.
Okay.
Series 2.
Okay.
Not a Neo, I wish, but...
So the longest RB that I've had to date was a Series 2 Neo. Or, not,
Really?
sorry, not Series 2 Neo. It was just a Series 2.
Ah.
And then I did the Neo after that in the 14.
Gotcha.
And yeah, man, that thing lasted. I built it for when Pro 2, first year of Pro
Nice,
2.
yeah.
And man, that thing lasted 6.5 years. 7
I remember you
years.
saying that in a video one time. I think it was
Yeah.
Larry Chin's or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a long fucking
Like
time.
like when you saw me all throughout Pro 2, all the stuff when it was black and gold, when I did Grid Life,
Right.
Hoonigan, and then when it was green with Voodoo Ride.
Yeah.
And then even when it was red with Power Stop, like the first year, it was still the same
That's
motor.
nuts, dude.
And then we changed it because we just felt like, how long do you really want to let your luck last, right?
Yeah.
You know?
You had to cut yourself short.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh.
But nah, man, I would go back to it. You know, like with Tomei, I do still think, like, you know, it's, well, Tomei USA and Tomei Japan are different companies, but
Right.
yeah, I think things happen, and it comes back. If there is a flaw in your product, like, I will find it. And
That's fucking
it's
hilarious.
I feel like that's like the nature of that beast that's sitting outside. Is like,
Yeah.
So if you're a company out there and you have products that are top notch and you want to see what's wrong with them, let me see them.
Yeah, I'll test them for you. There you go. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I've actually, the motor I have has never been opened or anything, so it's
Runs
all
great.
it's got the JDM magic. I took it out of my buddy's car with him, and I watched him beat the living dog shit out of this motor, and it just took every ounce of it. So I was like, I'm doing that. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It sounds cool and it runs good.
What kind of
Awesome.
power are you at on that?
Right now it's probably like 180 because it's not making boost, but we're fixing that.
Is it is like pretty relatively stock build then? Like stock
Yeah,
turbo
like it's
and
got
all that stuff?
upgraded fueling and stuff like that, and then like a Freddy intake,
Got it.
all that. But I just ordered a Garrett 3076.
Oh, cool.
So I'll be putting that on. I just put an eBay turbo on just in the meantime because I think the stock turbo was completely toast.
Oh, yeah.
Fins were all bent to shit.
It's a ceramic, so
Yeah.
if it goes
Junk.
over anything over stock boost, like maybe a pound or two you can go over, but it's a short-lived
Yep.
experience for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So fixing that, but I don't know. How many RBs have you actually owned?
Well, my first RB that I ever had, I had a 1997 R33 GTST back in 2007, and that's what like got me to really fall in love with the platform. And because the same as you, like I had it in the car and I beat the crap out of it for many years, and I never had a problem, and I loved it. And so I had that. That one never gave me a problem. I had the one in the 14. Actually, I went through. I've been through my fair share of them. I've been through my fair share, but I think it's like that with any type of racing, man. Like motors, like everybody's gone down.
Yeah,
you know, like,
especially at this level. Like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna go through 'em.
Yeah, I mean, typically, bro, you really want to have 3 engines in rotation. You want to have one motor in the car. You want to have a complete spare, and by I mean complete spare, I mean it's plumbed. It's got both
it's ready
manifolds
to
on it.
drop
It's
in.
ready to drop in. So if you do encounter a problem on track, you're able to step aside, pull that motor out, put the new one in, that one gets stripped down, and then you have a long block in your trailer. So then that motor that you suspect has a problem goes back to your engine builder. You have the long block that's there, and then you put all the accessories that were on that motor, and that becomes your complete spare, and you just have it in cycle and rotation.
Is that very common for like all FD drivers?
I would
JZ,
see
LS, everything?
the guys that are at top level and are prepared, yes. That's
Of course,
the proper way
yeah.
to do it. That's the proper way to do it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Huh. Damn. That's expensive.
But I mean, it's an investment, man, and this is a business out here. In order to run and to be competitive and to truly do this, you need to be prepared. And yeah, it is expensive.
How much does like you don't have to go into detail on like the level of built motors it is, but what does something like your type of motor cost to get built? Besides buying a motor.
I mean, it's
if a civilian was to just walk in and, you know.
You mean like top to bottom?
Yeah, top to bottom.
Totally top to bottom, wired, like everything? Or just the engine itself?
The engine itself, to get it ported and all that stuff.
I mean,
I've never even asked.
You're looking, yeah, man, like probably like 50 or 60 all in. Like, if you want to do everything, you want to do it right, like, and it's ran in and everything is good, yeah, probably around that.
That's crazy, dude. Man.
Just all your plumbing, and you got to use quality components. You got to use, you know, like from your dry sump to all your fittings, all your stuff, dude. Yeah, it's definitely a sizable investment. And I would say, you know, even when I was with Cover Works and we had the Z, like the LSR and all that, like what Matt and Odie are running, those are big money, bro. Big money to run a car like that, and to have
that would be like any motor, realistically, right?
Honestly,
about
that's what it is, bro. Like it kind of doesn't really matter what you're running to get to that level of you know, you're running 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 plus, 900, right around that point. You're making the investment. It's all because like it's all you're maybe
an LS might be easier too
left or right.
Yeah,
but then you're still buying aftermarket blocks and you're still having to buy a drag
2 times the cylinders and shit like
you're
that.
Buying,
so it's more work.
Exactly. Well, it's like when you make that jump from 4 to 6 to 8. It's like instead of buying 4 fuel injectors, you're buying 8 fuel injectors. You're buying 8 spark plugs. You're buying 8 coil packs. You're buying 8 rods. You're buying 8 pistons. You know.
Every time I got to do a tune-up on my truck, it fucking sucks. I hate it.
Well,
just because it's so many parts.
Imagine Fede.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not.
So yeah, man, it's all a balance, man, and you know, everybody out here does the best that they can with the money that they're able to raise and build for themselves to come out here, and yeah, sometimes you have better luck than others, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
it's inspiring either way. So
I appreciate that.
Actually, how does it feel to be kind of? I said the controversial guy, but like, how does it feel to be that guy in FD because of the RB?
You mean, you mean just kind of like a lone wolf?
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Like a
the black
single
sheep kind of deal. Yeah.
I think it's cool, man. You know, like I just kind of stay in my own lane. I don't really like. I mean, because I've been there, right? Like I had the V8 in my car. I've been there, done that, and I love that. Like that setup was rad. Like
it works.
I'm not. Yeah, it's great. But for why I went on this is because I've predominantly been like an RB guy, and my fans at the time when I was driving the Z, they were like, well, why don't you like do a RB for FD? Like, why don't you like? So like my fans challenged me on it and inspired me to do it. So I was like, well, you know, and I'd always said it because I always knew what was down the road. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, it's gonna take a lot of effort. It's going to be difficult because like parts aren't the easiest to find. Like it's like, especially right now, finding a like new RB26 cylinder head, virtually non-existent right now.
I haven't seen one anywhere near.
Yeah, no, it's really hard to find some of these parts because Nissan stopped. They were reproducing them and then they stopped. So then it's like people don't know when they're going to be remaking them, so people are kind of like hoarding and like hanging on to these parts. So it's all in like who you know, not what you know what I mean? So like to get some of these things. So I've been really fortunate to being connected and kind of having the respect in that space to like having a community support behind me in order to get what I need to get the car back together and keep it running and keep it going. I think the whole process is really fun, and it's always like an adventure. And
you're just one of those guys that's up for the challenge all the time.
Yeah, and I don't know how to quit anything. So
cheers. Yep.
It's going to work, and like even I'm teamed up with the guys at Collab, and the guys at Collab build like some of the fastest R35s in the country, and it would be an easy thing for us just to like go to VR, you know, and kill it. But even my crew chief Joe is like, nah, we're just gonna stay in there. You know, so like it's one of those. It's like the unicorn, you know.
Absolutely.
Like,
Well, you mentioned like meeting people and stuff, and like just gaining those connections. How, for someone out there that's trying to gain that avenue and find those people, how did you come across meeting some of these guys that are very influential or gave you those connections that you needed? Like, does it just mishap?
You know, my entire career, like, I never set out. Like, when I started driving, I went to my first event in 2004, 2005 for D1, and like I loved that. But I also found drifting before that, like through like this is back before YouTube. Like you had to like download like LimeWire and Morpheus, right?
Oh yeah.
That's how I kind of found out about it, you know, and ever since then I've just been intrigued by drifting, but I always wanted to do it. Like, you know, I don't come from like a wealthy family or a racing family. We use motorcycles and stuff, but nothing like crazy, you know. But so like when you see here and you're here, like I never thought that it was achievable, like it was obtainable.
I'm exact same boat, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
None
like,
of my family was into cars or anything, except for my uncle, but it was all classic stuff. So
yeah, my dad
didn't
was
relate.
like a Camaro guy, like Chevelles and Corvettes and all that.
And my dad did security work, security cameras and stuff like that, and didn't really care for cars that much. So
yeah,
I feel you.
But like, I loved it so much, you know. And then like I had opportunities. It just seems that like this has been my path. Like this is what I'm like meant to do, because everywhere that I've gone, it's kind of been like a domino effect where I've been in the right place at the right time to meet so and so inadvertently of itself. Like it's just kind of lined up that way, and I've kind of just rolled with it, and I love it so much that I just keep going, you know.
Hell yeah.
You always got to find a way to do it.
Absolutely. Well, I guess what would your advice be to someone? Like, just go to FD, go talk to people, talk to booths.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I know that's a little harder to say than done.
I'll kind of rewind a little bit, because I didn't initially set out to like be a pro driver, so to speak. Right. I started doing events like when I first got my car. So when I first got my car at 18, I got like a single cam like hatch S13.
Okay, yeah.
I found on Auto Trader magazine.
Nice. Oh my god, I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you check this month out.
Don't they still print the papers and stuff?
I don't know.
I swear they do, man.
I used to go because I was like this, like before I could even drive. I would go with my dad. You know, we'd go pull to the gas station. They had him on the little racks in the gas station, dude. And then like I would pick him up and then just like daydream. I do like the same thing with like Facebook Marketplace now, where you're like on the marketplace. And you're like,
I scroll on there like I scroll on TikTok and shit, bro. I'm just like, what can I not buy today? I don't know.
That's what it is too, right? It's always like when you don't have the money and you're like, oh dang, that's a sick deal, you know?
No,
it's like Joe Dirt when he's also like, dang, that's got a dash mat for a 71 Kula, bro. It's so good. Like it'd be like that though, you know? It's pretty funny.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I found my car on that. I was 18, and my dad got it for me for my 18th birthday. It's all I wanted. I just wanted a drift car. So he got me the drift car, and he was like, don't get in trouble. So 4 days after I got it, I didn't even register it. I got arrested for street drifting.
Damn, dog.
I know.
Didn't waste no time. You was like, I'm on it.
So it was funny. So it kind of goes into like the domino effect, right? So I got the car and I was driving around, and I'm from like a smaller town in SoCal called Grand Terrace, which is like in between San Bernardino and Riverside, and it's on the border of a town called Colton, which is a little bit bigger city, but Grand Terrace is kind of like this small like nestled city.
I think I've heard of that one.
I'd be very surprised if you've heard of it. It is kind of.
I have some. I got some cousins out in California.
Oh, really?
More northern California, but I talk to them every once in a while, so that's probably where I've heard it.
Okay. So I was driving the car, and I met my friend Eric. We were still friends to this day, but him and his brother, they were at the gas station, and my car was burgundy on like the Anki 92 meshes. It was all slammed, but his car was gray on the Anki 92 meshes black. So we kind of like argued, like, you know, and I was like, hey, like, they're like, hey, we got a little spot down here, and like I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to like figure it out. I wanted to
do a couple donuts or something.
Exactly. And I like immediately just like, I just got it, dude. Like I got the bug and I had to do it. So they showed me, and the place was actually this place. It's a street called Palmerita, And they used to do drag race. My dad used to street race there in the 70s.
No shit.
And it used to be the spot.
Cool.
So they have like all these industrial like parks there now. So we went to this industrial park, which was abandoned. And it was abandoned, bro, up until the last 3 years ago. So this is
no
like
shit.
So this is like this occurrence happened like 17 years ago. Wow. So say up into like, you know, the last 15 years up to that point, it had been vacant. So we were going there. They would hit it like once a week. Well, I started going there every night. And I would start practicing, and I would do it. And so I went there with one of my friends, and they were with me too. And it was like in the back of like, you know, like the cul-de-sac, and it was in one of the buildings in the very back. So I had my friend with me, and I was like sideways around the corner, and then the cop came around. And then he pulled me over. My buddy got out of the car and he ran to the group of people that was like off to the side watching, and he was like, "Oh, you got anything that'll stick me?" And I was like, "Nope, never been arrested before. Like, I'm a good kid."
Yeah,
you know,
still
like,
clean record and everything.
Yeah, like. And so he puts the cuffs behind me, and he looks back and he's like, "You're lucky I didn't see who got out of the car, or else you'd be right here with him." Everybody leaves, and they take my car in. They sight released me. They impounded the car. So meaning like they took me in there, they took my fingerprint, and they sent me on my they sent me on my way.
Yeah.
And then they still held the car for 30 days. The impound fee was almost as much as the purchase price of the car.
Oh, that hurts.
And it wasn't registered in my name. I had to get in contact with the original owner. They had to come out. We're in here. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're here at the race, and we're here in the office, and
there may be some people knocking.
Yeah, there might be some people knocking, trying to interrupt. So my apologies for that. So I just remember that when I came home, my dad was just he gave me one of those where he was like, "I don't even want to look at you right now." He was so disappointed because that like affected me like way more than any other type of reprimand. Is just like the disappointment of your dad to me was like so impactful, and I was like, man, like I can't do that.
We'll light a fire in your ass real quick.
Well, so in itself, that's when Drift Buffet started hosting the local events. Like a month after. So my same buddy Eric that I'd ran into, he was like, "Hey, they have legit events at the Orange Show," which the Orange Show is only like 5-7 minutes away from our house. So
cakewalk.
Yeah, and you just drive your car. Like back then, bro, back in like 2007, 2008, everybody drove their car to the track. It was very rare.
That was so cool, honestly.
Well, yeah, bro. Even like Tommy Roberts, Matt Powers, Nate Deck, all the Part Shot Max guys, like Dan Martin. Everybody drove their cars up. Other than Dan, because he had his 15. He always had like his Skyliner, his 15. He would trailer his car. But everybody else, bro, typically would street drive their car up. And they would thrash on it. And
everybody
usually
was
had
a cowboy back then.
Yeah, that's how it was, man. Like, I remember Mike Essa. So I've known Mike Essa for a long time. And I remember he pulled up with his, he had like an Intec trailer, like super nice. And I was like, "So what do you do, bro? You sell drugs?"
Are you in the mafia? What's going on here?
What do you do? You know, he's had a really he's mainly been building Porsches for a long time.
Oh,
and that's really where he's.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Mike's a real deal, bro.
Huh?
Yeah, he does a lot.
Damn.
He's one of those guys that can build like an entire car top to bottom.
Oh,
I have a lot of respect for Essa, bro. Yeah, Essa gets down.
Unpopular opinion. I actually don't like the way Porsches look.
Really? Like any of them? Okay.
Yeah. I like the 944s, the pop-ups.
Okay.
Because it's like the only thing that looks different than every other Porsche.
You know, that's actually what the FC is based on.
Yeah.
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 Like they came
That's
out
why I
and
have
said
a
it.
broken one sitting in my driveway.
So yeah, man. So with all that being said, then that's like we did. Like I did my first year of Drift Buffet, just kind of learning, and they had the street class. Like I had the KA, and then I tried to do a KA Turbo, and then it blew up, and I got
Sounds
super
about
sad,
right.
and then I got an SR, and then I did good in that, and then they were partnered up with the World Drift Series, which was a series over in China that was bringing over like people from all over.
Gotcha.
And they were doing the Stadium Drift Series, kind of what you see in Drift Masters. They were doing it there in China back in 2006, 2007, which they were taking these Olympic stadiums. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They would take like a tarp, and they would lay the tarp down, and they would use wood frames and then fill them with concrete and lay the asphalt over. So they would set a track up in like 2 or 3 days. You would run on it, And then when they're done, you just lift the tarps up, throw them in the bed of a dump truck, and see you later.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they did it in Beijing, Hangzhou, Laoyang. They did it.
Well, hell, what are you going to use these
dude.
Olympic stadiums for again?
Exactly.
After the,
yeah,
after
exactly.
the ones.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a really cool experience.
Damn.
So I initially got invited over there to be like a course worker, like a helper. But then another driver that maybe some of you guys would know, Calvin Wan, had called in sick, and he was a Falcon driver back in the day, and they wanted a full roster of cars to be driven, and the event organizer had sent his Skyline, and since I had an R30, I'd just gotten the 33 at the time, and I'd started driving it when I had the 13, so I had some experience driving right-hand drive, and nobody wanted to drive this car, and I wound up doing really well.
Let me drive a boat.
Yeah, exactly. RB even back then, you know what I mean? So I wound up doing really well, and they just kept inviting me back. So that's how I met like Larry, and Larry was now in charge past like the original organizer had left, and then Larry Chen was the one that was responsible for bringing people over.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I just kept getting back. So I kept having these opportunities to kind of like meet with the right people, and kind of like, and it wasn't to be with the right people to be with the right people. It's just like, these are the people that I vibed with. These were my friends that I was meeting, and like I was capable to drive these cars at this level. Like it just, the opportunity kept arising. So I guess to answer your question would be to kind of like follow what you feel your calling is. Like if you're really passionate about doing something, then like try to be the best you can be at doing that, and just do it because you love to do it, not because you want to be the cool guy. Don't do it because, you know what I mean? Like the clout chasing thing, I don't think is right. I think you should really have a lot of passion behind to find your purpose in life. And I've been kind of reflecting on that more recently, because everything that we are doing right now is on another level, but it's just the opportunity to be able to do that in just kind of like, it's all a part of that process and the journey of what that led from getting arrested in a parking lot when you're 18 years old to like being here now. It's pretty surreal, and I never thought that. And the only reason why I really went into pros, because I had another friend approach me. We started a shop together, and he was like, "Hey, we should do Formula D to promote our business." And I was like, I'm interested in that. And that totally makes sense, because we could be at the forefront. Like, look at Odie. You know, Odie's got feel on the side of the car. He uses his cars to go out there to promote his business. So I totally was aligned with that, and we went through and we got our license. Unfortunately, halfway through the season, we had a dissolvement, and I mean, we're still friends to this day. Just not in business together, but I was still so heavily invested that I'm like, I'm already here. I might as well keep going.
As well.
You know, so
absolutely,
Again, I don't quit. I just once I make
keep on pushing.
Once I make a commitment,
that's a good thing to have, though, man. I like you were saying. I tell people all the time, don't put yourself in like a crazy financial situation. But like, if you love something, just do it. You'll figure out how to make it work as you go. But from the jump, you're not gonna be able to figure it out anyway. So you can't hit the ground running.
Well, yeah, you can't chop the tree down in one swing, dude.
Absolutely not.
Nah, you got to sit there and you got to work on it. You got to work on it from this way. You got to work on it from that way in order for it to fall down the way that it needs to fall down.
And you got to wait for it to grow first.
Exactly.
Damn. Yeah, that's good advice, dog. Good shit.
Just do you, bro. Just do you, be you. And if it's meant to be, bro, it's meant to be. Like, that's it, you know?
Yeah. All right, well, we don't have to go down the sappy rabbit hole, but...
I mean, I'm sorry it came off that way, but, you know, it's my life. You know? If you really... But that's the advice, right? Like, if you want to be here, it is going to take dedication for you to be here. That's why there's only so many people in this paddock, and there's way more people behind their phones making a comment on things that they don't have experience with. So, you could take that.
Slight bit of insanity to do it too, I would say.
Absolutely. There's no sane, bro. What do you mean? Even drifting in itself, like over 100 miles an hour in a car that you like that costs as much as a house, and you want to smash this thing.
Yeah, the tin can on wheels.
That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I guess let's talk about last round. How did last round go for you overall? I know you had some discrepancies. Yeah.
Well. The on-track stuff wasn't. I mean, I felt really good, bro. Like, that's what like was. it was a disappointment because I felt so confident in the car, like because we made like the suspension adjustment changes, the new tire, the new Kenda is absolutely rocking. It is
I've been
crazy.
hearing on that.
Yeah, it's so great, man. Like I'm so stoked on that company for stepping up to the plate, to giving us like a formidable tire, and their vision to be involved in drifting for the long term too. I think it's just a great company to have in drifting. So everything felt great, and then when the cam broke, like in practice, we didn't even get to compete. It was like, and it was like 15 minutes before we had to compete. It's like there's nothing you could do, but it allowed me to have more time because all of this was new, and there's a lot going on with this program now, to hang up the helmet, put my business cap on, and to address
Run the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not me in itself. Like there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of people with a lot of responsibilities, but I was able to jump in and handle what needed to get handled on my side of things. And so I was grateful for that opportunity to kind of see everything in its entirety and make plans for this round moving forward and everything that we had to do in between to make that possible. So
I think that's a good thing to point out, is the attitude, because most people, they would have just been pissed all weekend, sat there pouting or something like that, but you chose to just screw it. Screw the car for right now. Let's go make some money, make sure everything else operates right. That way I don't even have to think about it the rest of the season. I can focus on the car after that.
Exactly.
Good mindset.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's something like this, man. Like, there's no real downtime for you to kind of sit there and cry in your beer, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get to work and you got to stay on your toes.
Doing that.
Yeah, no, man. You got to. I mean, it was a bummer afterwards, but I mean, dude, again, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. It's not like I have not suffered a broken engine before, you know, or what that's going to take. Yeah, it has been worse. I mean, we did get lucky for considering what happened, you know. Bent a few valves, and
it's very surprising,
we got lucky. So it happened when it did, how it did.
Knock on wood, whatever.
Yeah, anything can happen though, bro. Honestly, I just leave that up to whatever it may be. But we've done everything in our power to make it the best that we can for the weekend, and we're aiming high. We feel good about it, and we're ready to get out there to make it happen.
Awesome. Well, what all have you done as far as changes from then, other than the cam, obviously?
Built a whole new cylinder head. It's got new valves, springs, retainers. We got like a virgin, unmachined 26 head. So it's real nice. New gasket, new hardware.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through it.
Well, since the mishap and not even getting to run a lap, really, right? Or you got to do practice, didn't you?
I did practice. I think I did 6 or 7 laps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I
still got some
drove, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was ready. That's why we drove with Connor or Shanahan.
Yeah.
And we did a lead in a chase with him. We were feeling dialed. We were feeling really good. And then it was like into the last corner, into the hairpin. I felt it like stutter, and I thought it was like a cam angle sensor or something. Like timing was lost. Something was right.
It was just not reading the teeth or something.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But then got back in, and it was like,
gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. All right. Well, I guess do you have a game plan going into this weekend, or
game plan is just to get acclimated as fast as we can. Now with like the seating bracket, it's no longer like, adjust your line to this, to that. It's like, we've been here before, we know what we need to do. Let's get the car as competitive as you can, where it's comfortable in the lead and it's fast in the chase, it's able to maintain. But like, we're really just chasing that drivability in the car. So as soon as we get there, they have an event over at Lanier tonight, and I think we're going to go over there and turn a couple laps.
Sick.
And just kind of test out some different settings that we wanted to adjust with the front end, and try to get a little bit more out of the rear too, and just kind of see where that lands us, and we'll know exactly what we'll need to do moving into Atlanta, or moving into.
That's convenient.
Yeah, no, it's super nice.
The track open.
Super nice, and I like that they give you more practice time now too.
Yeah,
it's kind of like they give you this big block of practice before you compete. So I think it's cool. I actually really enjoy the new format. I think it's really cool.
Okay. Do you see other drivers liking it, or has there been some controversy on it within the FD drivers?
I've heard mixed reviews on it. Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
But I think you got to give it a chance. And I think in the grand scheme, the big picture here, and this is just an unbiased opinion, right? This is me stepping outside and just looking at it from a fan perspective. From qualifying to competition, I've always felt that it's kind of hard to explain, because it's basically it's two different structures, right? And then when you're trying to explain it, it can get kind of... I almost got confused last year, bro, trying to explain it to somebody, and that isn't good. I've been doing this for 17 years, and if I'm getting confused trying to explain it, then what am I doing? You know, it's not...
Something's not right here.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel that having this structure now is a much more clear, concise way for someone to be able to walk up and understand what's going on. It's right to action. Mm-hmm. They're streaming practice. They're streaming everything. You're getting more content. You're getting more exposure. I think it's a benefit all the way around. And it could be anyone's day. Like, there's people that went out in 32 that now are going to have to fight in.
Yeah, it's almost like a double elimination type deal in a sense. Not fully, obviously, but
no,
like
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know the term for it, but
it's like, you know, take someone like Dylan Hughes, who is predominantly like very, you know, high up in rankings, but he got 32 last round. He's going to be in the seeding bracket fighting for his way back up. So, and like Osmo last year, right? Osmo got 32 two times last year. So it's more than likely that you'll see like, you know, you'll see Forsberg too. I think Forsberg's in the seeding bracket too, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
So you have big names.
You'll correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, I could be totally wrong. Sorry, I might be inaccurate, but for the point of the conversation, right? Like, anybody, it could be anybody's day now, and I think that under the right circumstances, there's so many good drivers out here that everybody has earned their right to be here. That anybody could win now, and I think it's going to be very exciting for the sport moving forward, to giving some guys more opportunity to showcase what they're capable of doing, and you're jumping right in there with that like warrior mindset. You can't like pity patty.
The growth for FD, I think, will just like online presence, in-person presence, I think is going to grow tremendously just from those changes.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's just people will be able to completely understand it, like you said.
Yeah,
a little more easier, I guess.
Yeah, you know, they get so. I mean, there is still going to be some nuances, right? And that's like that with any sport, right? I know that like basketball or football, in essence, is simple to watch, right? Or even a traditional race, because they cross the checkered line, they hit the checkered flag first. They scored more points, you know, than the other team. But there are intricacies within those sports and disciplines for the diehard fans or the people that have actually played. Of like, oh well, how come he wasn't able to do this, and how come he wasn't able to do that, and so on and so forth. Yeah. I think it all is like in sports in general. It's all.
I played baseball growing up, and literally even. Because my last year playing baseball was senior year of high school. All the way up until senior year of high school, I was always learning some new fucking rule or not even a new rule. It was a rule that was always there. It would finally happen, and I'd be like, "What the fuck? What are you talking? That's a thing?"
Right.
Like just the weirdest circumstance. Like, I couldn't even think of one right now, but. Yeah, that's literally every single sport. There's always those weird nuances that even if you were a diehard fan, you probably wouldn't even fucking know either.
Exactly. If the occurrence didn't happen, and it like didn't get brought to your attention, then you would never know about it, right? Exactly. But the general principle of what you're understanding and watching is there.
Yeah.
And I think that drifting has that visceral experience, like right off the rip, to grab your attention.
Yeah.
But I think that it's more exciting to watch two cars on track than it is for one. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So I think it's a benefit all the way around.
Yeah. The one thing that I wish FD would incorporate a little bit more is like driver interactions right after a battle. Because so you know how like obviously the LZ World Tour is a different aspect and like completely different show, whatever. But after every single lap or every single battle, they're parking in front of the crowd, getting out, having a talk while the judges are making their decision or whatever. And it just keeps the visuals of it a lot cleaner and more entertaining that way.
You mean that...
I don't know how feasible that would be with restraints and stuff all on you and all that stuff, trying to get out of a car.
They do that. How they want to base who they want to shoot and who they don't, or what is applicable to where Lorette and Hertz's staff are at. Within a given moment of time, right? I think they have tried to do that, but I would agree with you. Even like you watch other traditional sports, like they're down there with the coaches. They're down there like watching in and out and around, right? I think it does add more of a like character building. So I would agree with you. I think that, you know, they should be down there, you know, interviewing more people, showing more even behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it probably just all comes down to coordination, production budget. There's probably a lot of
there's
probably
so many
a lot
variables
of other
behind
factors.
the scenes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And plus, I feel like they're trying to lean more towards the online presence more than anything. Could I be wrong about that?
I think they're trying to go about it in every way. I think they're just I think they're just trying to make a better, more seamless show all the way around. That something that, you know, obviously incentivizes you to come to the track when it's in town, and that to also incentivize you to watch it when it's away. And to give you a good show.
Yeah.
As I think.
I can agree with that. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess in your opinion, for as far as the different tracks in FD, what would you say is your favorite and the one that the car probably performs the best at?
I would probably have to say Utah.
Really? Everyone says that.
Dude, it's so
It's
fun.
a beautiful track.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Did you go?
No, I haven't been yet.
Oh,
I
you
want
should
to.
go.
I'm trying to go this year because I want to go see Rob Parsons and do a podcast with him.
He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about someone that's inspirational? Dude, he is just like one of the hardest working human beings I've seen.
He's hardcore as fuck,
And
dude.
he's smart, and he's just so talented. I have nothing but great things to say about Rob, dude. I think
I agree.
he's the man.
And I haven't even met him in person yet.
Oh, he's the man. He's the man, dude.
One
He's
day
the
I got
man.
you.
He's the man. He's the man. Yeah, I like that track, especially for my driving style, because it's kind of like it's got like somewhat like a topless or like, you know, like D1GP where it's very momentum based. Like you're going in fully committed, and like here is fast too. I like Atlanta too. I like this track too. But you know, like here you're coming in 100 miles an hour, but then you're scrubbing in a ton of speed to go into inner one, and then you're building the speed back up. You're going up a hill, and then you're going into a hairpin, and then driving back down. Whereas opposed to Utah, you are flat
balls to the wall
the whole time, and that is awesome, right? Because you know, that's where, like, somewhere like here, a V8 will have an advantage over you because they have the displacement. They're making power at a lower RPM range. When if you're in a turbo car, you got to keep it spooled up, and you got to keep that momentum inside to keep going.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to learn myself now.
Yeah.
If the boost would ever work, you know?
Maybe we'll talk afterwards and see what's going on with your stuff. But with there, it's really like you're staying on there. You can carry the momentum, and it's badass. I love that.
What? Speaking of that track, actually, the last outer zone. Why do most people get mixed up right there? Like, what is the issue with that turn?
You mean
people
like
are flying off track, or like people get lost in the smoke really bad right there?
So you got to think that they're cooking. Right? They're like 4th or 5th right there. I think I was in 4th.
Aren't you in like 6th or some shit?
I was in 5th.
Oh, okay. I remember you talking about how you run the car in like 5th or 6th most of the time.
So 5th is the closest to 1-to-1 in that transmission. There isn't a true 1-to-1 in the 6-speed that we run. So, and 6 is like, it's kind of the same. It's kind of like you're talking like a marginal difference.
Gotcha.
It really could be even a 4-speed in my opinion. That would still like be adequate for what we do.
Yeah.
Because I like the sequential. I like not having, because in every transmission, even when you make that jump from second, when you're crossing over gates, that's the weakest point. That's where people break transmissions. But in the sequential, you're not really doing that. It's going back. As long as you pull that back and you time it right, it's fine. You can't hit a false neutral if you shift it too fast and the dogs kiss. They kiss and it'll give you a false neutral. It'll just like lock you into neutral because it wasn't able to click into the gear. I've had that happen back. But now that I've had my time with understanding and learning how to shift with it,
you got your second nature down and all that.
Yeah. But I would say to that part of the track, because there's like you have the asphalt and like the texture of the asphalt, so the texture of the dirt on the outside of it, depending on the time of the day, can blend in, and so it becomes hard to see. So it's almost like you have to get the line down and know where you are, because you can kind of get tunneled out on that and not see it. Yeah. And it's easy to get smoked out there because the wheel speed is so high, and if a driver in front creates that
You
gap,
just fall back to
and you
just an
can't
inch too
see.
far.
Yeah, you can't see. So that's why you
Damn.
gotta stay as close as you can, just so you can see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching the in-car footage of, I think it was LZ's video or something. And I mean, dude, pummeled with smoke. Like, you can't,
Oh,
that
yeah.
transition going into it, it's like butt puckering. Easy.
Dude, it's so sick. Like, I was like
God.
full throttle, and you just like huck the car. And just stick it. Like, I love it. And it's like, and it's got a bank, you know? So it's like, you set up on the line, and you just like, it's so good.
Damn.
It's
I gotta
so
make it
good.
out to that track, man.
Dude, it's gorgeous.
When is that one this year?
I think it's, September, I think? I think it's September.
Oh, that's my birthday month. I might have to do that.
Celebrate, dude. It's awesome, man, because you got, like, the backdrop of the mountains, and, like, it's just it's a great facility, man.
Damn.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And my mom lives up there, too. So
my
then I
dad's
get to-
from like the desert area, Arizona.
Okay.
So I love the landscape out there
yeah.
like that. It's beautiful. So, well, sorry, what were you saying?
My
about
mom
your-
lives up there.
Oh.
Yeah, she
no
lives up in
shit.
Park City, which is like an hour away from the racetrack. So then it's great. So then I get to go up there and see my mom and visit.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I love Utah, bro. Utah's
Give you excuses.
100%. 100%.
Ew.
Yeah.
Make it work how you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually, this year was my first time at PRI, and your car was there.
Yeah.
So it was my first time like seeing your car in person. The Sunoco livery turned out like phenomenal. Just
You like that?
for one thing, yeah.
On that one or the new one? Or both?
Well, on that one, when I originally first saw it, well, obviously now it still looks good, but was this livery the one that you went through like 15 different variations or
Yeah.
something? I saw a video and it was like just all laid out on the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? How long did that take to go through all of those?
So the one that you liked at PRI was
Yeah.
one that was like Sean Illingworth. I was
Yeah.
like, we had the opportunity to work with Sunoco for the event. And I was like, hey, we need some examples to show. And I wanted to do something completely different. But they really liked it. And it was someone I saw it on paper. I wasn't like the biggest fan. But then when we did it in person, it did hit. It
Yeah.
did slap, And I wish I would have kept it. Or I don't say I want to wish I kept it. I really like the look of it. But I'm very happy with how the car turned out now.
Mm-hmm.
And just how everything was in cohesion with what we were trying to do this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like simple.
Where do you find inspiration for your liveries? I've always been interested how people do that, because like it'll just be Nate Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be random shit, like ink dropping from his printers. He was like, that'd be cool. Let's do ink dripping down the car.
For me, I always want to look at what I've always kind of found, like with me, like predominantly it's always kind of been flames, and it's kind of been that
JDM stuff. Yeah.
Especially like my last name, like in my own like little personal brand,
Lit.
like it's lit. Yeah. So I've kind of tried to incorporate that, but I really try to look at the company and see like their like lineage and their heritage, and how do we find that cohesion with our roots style, which is like like the Japanese style, like that type of flair, with their heritage
Corporate
and lineage.
America type stuff,
and
yeah.
like trying to integrate all of that. Like, how do we take these long-standing brands and how do we make them cool for us and our demographic and for the next generation of motorsport enthusiasts? Like, I want someone to come up and look at my car and be like, man, that's cool. Like in a good way that they would want to emulate for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I've always, like, my cars, like, if you were to see it driving down the street, you would still think that you'd break your neck. You'd be like, whoa, what's that?
Absolutely.
That's my approach to it.
Yeah. What were some of the little details? What were some of the little details in the livery that was a part of that, incorporating both sides of it, that really stood out to you?
Like the flag, like that,
Oh, okay.
like, and to kind of make that, and it kind of does kind of pay homage to like the Haraguchi, like in and of itself. It's just like paying those like nods to the originals that inspired so many of us to be here, but it also ties in with Sunoco and their flag. So it's like, how do we incorporate all of this together? And it just
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Well, how did the Sunoco thing even like just come about in general?
So I've been working with Sunoco for the past few years. I needed fuel, and I called them.
No shit.
Yeah, I just called them, and then I had asked to speak to someone in marketing.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't do individual sponsorships. If you want to work, then you got to work with one of our distributors. I was like, okay. So I talked to the distributor, and I had a question on the difference between E85R and E98, and they kicked me back to engineering. And then I spoke with the engineer, and then we hit it off, and then we started a relationship past that point.
No shit.
And then last year, there was an opportunity to work with them for Grid Life, and we had a good experience, good interaction, and just
popped off from there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Awesome. I actually use Renegade in mine. Have you ever heard of them?
I have heard of that.
Okay.
I have heard of that. I've never
mainly
seen anybody
like drag
run
racing.
it, but yeah, do you enjoy it?
Yeah, so far it's been great, and it like smells really good, of course, too.
Cool.
But
well, maybe you'll give Sunoco a try.
Absolutely. Ironically, I have a Sunoco gas station that's 5 minutes down the road from my house, and I never see Sunoco gas stations like ever.
Oh, because you said you live in Tennessee, right?
Yeah,
Got it.
They're like non-existent there. Got it. And it's in the middle of nowhere town. Like, I'm like the cheapest part of town and everything.
Let me know what you need. Maybe we can do something.
Okay. Okay. So, what all has kind of changed on the car from last year to this year? Because
so we mainly
I'm jumping, I know that,
emphasize it's totally fine. We really put a strong emphasis on doing everything that we wanted to do to the car last year, but ran out of time and just wanted to make the car run for an entire season. Mm-hmm. So we upgraded our coilovers are running an ST3-way now. We went to the E46 front steer rack, new tire, and we got front and rear sway bars on the car.
Oh. Which you weren't running even fronts?
No.
Why? Just curious.
It's one of those where you can valve your suspension to kind of work with or without it. So that's what I had before. I don't know. Even the 14, every time that you've seen it, it's never had sway bars.
No shit.
Yeah, no.
Damn.
It definitely helps, though. It definitely helps.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where, the WiseFab, and it's like, was originally designed not to run.
Yeah, I didn't have it, so yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, that's how they wanted to run it.
Glad they're incorporating it now. It's awesome.
And I really like it. I really like it. What we added to, it's adjustable front and rear, and now we can really find the extra percentages of what we're looking for in the car. It was cool. I was able to see some of the footage from Long Beach, and the car just looks so flat, and it's so planted, and it's like, things working good, and now we're able to make more power with the engine. Last year we were limited to I think I was only at 640 horsepower last year.
No way.
Mm-hmm. All year.
What?
Yeah. The way that last year
working yourself. Huh? You was working yourself.
Oh yeah, I was on a razor. I was on the razor's edge. Bro.
Yeah.
I had to be committed. If anybody made a bump in front of me, your boy was driving them down, man. So, what we found, one of the blocks that we had, the oil galleys weren't drilled all the way through, so we launched 2 motors on break-in on the dyno, and that was just a machine error. That was overlooked.
Yeah, so I actually have this in the notes to bring up because I remember seeing that in a video as well.
Yeah.
Where you were talking about it was some machine issue that was the reason you were popping engines almost every single event.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we found that, and my builder flew out. We fixed the motor. We got everything together. It was from Atlanta, this event last year, and it was a mad dash. We used the dyno down the street. And it was basically just to set the base, and then we were making adjustments. We make adjustments on track. It's not uncommon, you go out there and you go out there, you do your run.
Adjustments.
You're a tuner, yeah, Ray over at RTR, plugging the laptop in. They're making adjustments when they need to.
That's fair, yeah.
So, with that being said, we started to notice that the head, we're seeing rises in coolant pressure when we started to try to up the power. So the car was happy where it was, and we didn't feel comfortable risking it past that certain point. And the car felt okay for me to drive. I didn't feel like I was at a disadvantage. Yeah. And until we started going to some of the faster tracks, and now it makes a lot of sense. Probably in Utah, due to the altitude, the car was probably at 590, 600.
Damn, that's funny that most people don't even think about that. Yeah. The altitude difference and how it'll affect your car. Because it's colder air, more dense air, more humid air.
Yeah,
whatever.
So you need more boost to be the same of where you would be at sea level.
No shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny to think about.
Yeah. So it was crazy when we got it on the main line at Collab this year, and we just ran it as it came off the trailer. Like, where's the car at? And it was like dead cold, was like, you know, like fresh, like just warmed up, not heat soaked, anything like that. I want to say it was like 670, 675. But then when the car is heat soaked and it comes in for run 2, it's down to like, it would drop 40 horsepower.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, you really had to be on a razor's edge to drive the car to be competitive. So,
dude, more power to you on that one. Screw that.
I had no idea. I mean, it felt low, you know, because I'm used to driving the V8, you know, but when you drive
just
something with 1300, if it doesn't make 1300, everything's going to feel slow to 1300, you know what I mean? So it's like, I guess that's what she's happy. But it makes sense of, like, even my battle with Reader, you know, and I was like in Castro, and I was like, man, dude, these guys are leaving me coming out of this zone. I was like, this thing really is that. But, so now with that being said, the motor makes 200 more horsepower, 200 more foot-pounds of torque.
All because of that one port. Whoa.
No, so we did this year is we changed our the ramp in style. Like before, it would ramp super hard, like right off the rip, and then would taper down. But it was way too much. Like it was way too aggressive. Like where it would start to like have a tendency to want to lift the head up. To where now it's a nice flat curve all the way up to red line. So it's much more sustainable, and it's a safer way to go. It basically trying to run it like an NA car. If that makes sense.
Damn.
So now the car is happier at a higher level.
Yeah.
Higher horsepower level.
And it's like at about 1,000, or is it, you said 12? Closer to 12.
No, I mean, I would say we're maxed out on our turbo speed. We can't go up any higher, so we're maxing the turbo out around like 850 wheel.
Okay, that's still competitive. Yeah, absolutely. What turbo is it?
It's a Borg Warner EFR 9280. That's an internal gate, 9280.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, fancy shit.
I've had a good relationship with Borg Warner, man. I've been working with Borg Warner for...
I've only heard good things about them.
The best of the best, man.
Yeah.
I've been working with them for over a decade, so they've always taken great care of me. I love the EFR frame turbos. They're amazing.
Yeah. I went with a Garrett because I've got Injuku with me, so they're just super easy, super quick. Gets to me in like 2 days.
Oh yeah,
half the time with if they're in stock, if all their stuff parts and stuff.
They're a quality product as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hell yeah. Well, all right. So actually, I don't know how most people feel because you're a style guy. So, and the past couple of years, you've been doing full wraps on your car rather than paint. Explain why someone in your circumstance would want to go with the wrap rather than painting so much. I mean, I get the painting, it takes a lot more effort, and you run fiberglass kit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
So what I would say, if you know the 14 has like a very intricate paint job to it.
Yeah.
Like that is, it's 6.5 pounds of metal flake, like, and it looks like glass. Like, it's really done right. My buddy Jose that painted my cars mainly does like high-end lowriders, high-end old car restorations, like from the frame.
Awesome.
Like, but he's my boy. I've known him since high school, so like mine and another guy, those are the only 2 drift cars that he's ever done. He would do my helmets. And
really?
all that. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I mean, dude, it's
how much is a helmet to get done? Actually, I've always wanted one.
They're around
the hot ride.
It all depends, man. It could start at $1,000. It could be $5,000, depending on how intricate, what materials you want to use.
I've never even heard a price. That's why I asked.
Yeah. It all depends, bro, on who's painting it, what the level of detail is. It's all relative. Yeah. But you figure you have your helmet for a long time, and when people try to skimp on the helmet, dude, it's like, bro, you got this much money into your car, but you can't spend that money on your head. Come on, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
It'll last a long time.
You would think that'd be common sense, but
some people's common senses are different.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let that sink in.
You just hurt some feelings back there.
No, but anyway.
Yeah.
So when you're running with paint, like custom paint like that, it's very high maintenance to say if you don't get all of your panels, and like you have to deal with like sun fates and like paint correction and all of that. So even though everything was painted on the same SKU, if it was left out and then the bumper could be off, it's easier to be able because you're more likely to have more contact here in Formula D than you are at Grid Life or you are at another event. So, and dude, the wrap technology now is like really impressive. Like there's some wraps out there that
I was highly impressed with just my livery and the material. The design shop React, they did mine. Oh my god, like you could pick it up and stick it down like probably 100 times and it would still stick just fine.
Yeah.
Stretch, everything.
And they have really cool metallic finishes now that really rival paint. I would say like, and then that way it's like you don't have to worry about all that the sun damage and whatever. It's like redo it. It's like it matches. It's easier. It's seamless. I don't have to, because my guy's like, okay, even though you give me a new part, I still have to sand it. I still have to prep it. I still have to spray it. I still have to let it dry. Then I can give it to you. And then you still have to put all of your die cut on top of it. So the process to when it's just like, I want my car to look seamless. I want to get back out there on track.
Yeah.
For a professional,
paint's the easy part. That's quick.
Yeah,
but it's all the prep work, man.
Bro. Yeah.
That's
so it
fair.
just adds more complexity to like an already complex situation. It's best to just try to like take the path of least resistance sometimes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Being a style guy, did it hurt to make that decision, or was it I can live with it?
Yeah, when I first did it, because the 15 has always been that way. Like I just didn't. I was going to paint it, but then it was like I said, for the reasons above, it's like we have to get it done and it has to look nice. When I saw it for the first time, when I had like a really nice wrap, like base and all of that, I was like, it's fine. Most people don't know the difference, right?
That's very true. Yeah. Oh, okay. So at what point was I'm gonna jump back on the RB stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I'm bouncing.
No, you're good.
I listen and I just roll.
I'm just here, bro. I'm just here. You ask me anything you want.
When do you think the RB became like your staple platform for your image?
I mean, it kind of just gravitated towards it when I had that 33, and I just loved it.
Well, no, not like as the viewers. Like, when do you think they noticed you as the RB guy? Like, if someone came up to you and didn't even know your name, but you're the RB guy.
I mean, it was
when
more
did that happen?
It was more so after like we had the battle, right? Like me and Dan, like we had the war. Okay. You know what I mean? But I would say like we were always that. Because I had the 33 and I was going to run that as a pro car and we were in the process of building it. But then when my buddy came to me just with the business proposition to like when we were building the shop and we were doing it to build the car, I had the opportunity to get the 14 and like the 14, like our chassis subframe just bolts right into an S chassis. So it was like, it was more feasible to, and this is something that I would recommend like people that are getting into the space too. Like I have my buddy that is my spotter, Zach, the guy I did the sim video with, and he's a great guy.
I've seen it.
but he's working up to get his way to get his first car, and he's like, he's showing me he's got a choice between a Laurel, which I love Laurels. I think Laurels are super dope. I would love to build one. I think they're super rad, or like a 350Z. And I told him, I was like, look, man, like if you're gonna crash this car and you're gonna go drift it, you want to be able to buy parts and find them, because like a Laurel like that with the Skyline, it was like at the time couldn't find rear over fenders. So if you like windshields non-existent, doors, all this
just
other
cracked
stuff.
my windshield because the wind was fucking nuts at Grid Life.
Really?
Yeah, I was just sitting there messing with the boost, trying to find boost leaks and shit, and hood just flew up on me and cracked the windshield. I was so pissed.
Even in my 15, dude, I did that with that video shoot with Larry that we went through downtown LA. We came up on that music video, and well, I had like the slightest, like just on track, another driver probably kicked up a rock, so I had like the smallest crack. But then they used like that suction cup mount and like clasped it super hard. It cracked my window. Like when they pulled it off, like the ring that you have from like the suction cup. Well, the rings were cracked into the window.
Holy shit,
dude! It was like $1,000 to get a new window, and then good luck finding one here in the States.
Absolutely.
So it's all the small stuff that you don't think about. You just think like to have a cool car, but it's best to have a car that's over here that you can find those parts for. So that's why we built the 14 instead of using the 33. So I had already had everything from like like even when I was in Skyline, they used to call me like Skyline Ryan. So it was like Adams, because Adams used to have like a weekly drift nights down there at Thursday. So thinking about it, yeah, probably even since then, dude, I've been the RB guy for a long time.
That's fair, yeah. Do you think you'll ever jump into the 33 chassis or any type of R chassis for competitive drifting?
I would love to, man. I think it'd be cool if if I had the opportunity to build something like that. It'd be rad. I sat in a 34 GTR actually the other day, and I was like,
no shit,
yeah, sick one, a sick one, dude, a sick one, yeah, a sick one. And I was like, I could get used to this.
Absolutely, dude.
I think I come in a size R34. Is what I think.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, okay, so what is your favorite R chassis? Is it the 34?
So I have a couple cars that I like. I like them all. Other than can I tell you which one I hate the most?
Yeah.
Can we start there?
Yeah, let's do that.
R33 4-door. I think is one.
I'm with that.
I think it's one of the ugliest
the
cars
rear end
ever
really
made.
fucks with me. I hate it
so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, don't clean that out. Don't ever wear that again. Don't, like, you know what I mean? Like your friend says something like really dumb, and you're just like, hey, don't ever say
Do
that.
I look bad in this? Yeah.
You definitely do.
Go put some pants on.
So I like R32 4-doors. I think look great. I think R32 GTRs are great. I think R33 GTRs are great. I think R33 GTSTs are cool. R34 GTRs are great. 4-door R34s. I like them all. The pinnacle probably for me is probably, R34.
Yeah.
Z-Tune is probably like,
dude, I love the 34, man, but the 32 sedan is what gets me. I'm a big sedan guy. I know y'all heard me say that shit so many times, but
yeah,
I will drool and drool over the 32 sedan.
It's a cool looking car, man. Like the guy Abo from Japan came over for Low Style Heroes that one year. Yeah, this is dope. Like they have their whole team of 32 sedans.
Yeah,
it's so awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, so rad.
Even like Jason from Keep It Read, I just had him on at Grid Life, and my favorite car in his fleet is that pink 32 sedan.
Really?
And it's like the cheapest and most like low grade drift car that he even owns.
But it just looks sick.
I'm like, dude, yeah, it's the best car though. I don't care. It looks fucking amazing.
Well, that's why I like the Laurel too, bro. Because that's a RB. Like,
yeah,
it's like
aren't the Glorias RB
has
too?
No B pillar. Like it's like all windows. Like,
Yeah,
it's super dope, dude. Super dope.
Are the Glorias did those come with an RB in it?
I think so.
Can't remember. I think they did.
Like the Cedrics and all that.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be dethroned now.
Who fucking knows?
Who knows?
I just wish we got them in the States. Give us one
crazy
damn car
thing,
with an
dude.
RB, man.
You have,
one of them.
You have the L series. You got L28 is like RB's based on that. It's not the same.
Yeah,
it's
not the same, man.
Yeah, I know. I wish they would have. It's kind of like even Nissan with like the SR, right?
Yeah.
Like they've like thought. Like I wondered what the internal discussion was. It was like inline turbo 4-cylinder. I don't think Americans are like that. What do Americans like? Torque. They put a truck motor in there. They're like, they're gonna like
V8.
that way more.
They said the more weight, the better.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, well, let me jump on this one. I have to read this one because it's long.
Okay.
So you mentioned in a Larry Chin video how even Jay-Z's are a dime a dozen compared. So there's been years of testing and development on like the Jay-Z side and stuff.
Right.
So are you kind of, with what I just went off of, that we didn't get RBs, all that stuff, are you kind of putting yourself in the place of being the guinea pig for the development of RBs?
For sure.
Did that just kind of happen, or did you kind of want to do that?
I mean, no.
Weird question, but like,
yeah, I understand what you're saying or what you're asking.
Because someone's got to do it eventually, even though we don't have them. Like the.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't just like. You have two choices, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be more. There's more to
even
life,
within
bro.
those choices, like the LS, you've got 100 different ways you can make it work perfectly. Same thing with the Jay-Z, because there's so many routes that have been proven.
Of the 350 Chevy, which is like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of development, man, in the V8 engines. You know what I mean? And there's with the Jay-Z's too. Like, there was a car that was sold over here that people were tuning. You know, that the Skylines were never over here. So yes, and I would say for the level of where we're running this car and what we're doing with it, like, you know, the drag race stuff, you know, they're running it for 6 seconds and then they're waiting an hour to run it again, where we're running it continuously. So more so is like an endurance style racing, right, where the engines have to continue to go round after round after round at a really high power level. So and just dealing with the billet block and dealing with different metallurgies and thermal expansion rates and all of that, it was definitely a lot more involved than I initially had thought, because like we had talked about before, it's not like we didn't have the ability to have a long-lasting RV. Yeah. We just wanted to do it the best that we thought that we could do it. And it's just proven to be a very tedious process. But I'm very proud of where we are with this program now and how things are running and how efficient that we are able to make things. But yeah, like I had said before, if there is a flaw in the design, we will find it. We will find it.
Yeah, just replay the whole season of new engines every event.
But I mean, dude, you got to take a look at Papadakis, man. A lot of people don't understand that too. Is that that's why they are so fast at repairing that. Now Turek is on a B58, but for the longest with the TUAR, like they were going through sometimes 2 engines in a weekend, and they were prepared the very next weekend to do the same thing. My God. If you take a look at drag racing too, man, like they're going through those motors. Like even LMP1, for example, right? Yeah. They do a 500-mile race. In those racing series, you can't even own the engine. You lease the engine. Really? You have 3 engines. They're $100,000 a piece. After the 500 race, it goes. You lease it. You don't own it. So
talk about risk versus reward.
They're constantly. But think about it. You're in an engine program, right? Yeah, We'll take care of it. You pay it. We rebuild it, and then you can continue to run it. And then when you're done, then we take it back, and then the next team.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's kind of fucking cool. You know, it sounds expensive, but like that's kind of cool.
Right, but that's how real motorsport is. Yeah, like, people are prepared, and engines go down, and.
You think drifting will ever get to that level of doing stuff like that?
Probably.
I mean, we're already like renting out drift cars and shit now.
We're getting close, man. We're getting close. Like, it's crazy the level of commitment and like seriousness of investment that goes into these cars now. It's only a matter of time, man. Where it's starting to it'll get that way, and it's getting world renowned recognition. Like, look what Drift Masters is doing, look what Formula D is doing. Like, it's crazy the amount of progression that the sport is making now, and from year to year, in my opinion, looking at it, I think it's coming fast. Yeah,
absolutely. Actually, there's a dude that reached out to me after Jason's episode. We spoke about him like for a split second in the podcast. I can't remember what professional drifting is going to be doing it, but it's literally a device that goes on the top of your car, just magnetic or whatever, and it reads down to the millimeter of proximity versus you and the wall, and it gives you like a visual, like an animated visual of the entire run with both cars, almost like a video game. So you could play the real-time footage from the drone, and then the animated one, which looks like a drone shot angle, so it's identical footage. Wow. Literally, it's crazy, but it's like glitchy, of course. It's like jumpy because it's first stages.
Yeah. I wish that we did have more of that integration, which I know that is coming. Like,
it's getting tested this year. I don't
know if you see with the app where you're able to click on your favorite driver, and then there'll be a certain car, like you'll be able to have like the in-car cam. You even be able to listen to race communication.
Yeah, where you can control it.
Yeah, which is really cool. That's like a really cool interactive interface to be involved with the motorsport.
I saw Samet on YouTube. I saw him do that for his Twitch or whatever, his streaming stuff, where he just had a shitload of GoPros running live inside the car, and all of the viewers could literally just switch whatever camera angles they want to see. That was the first time I ever saw that, a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago, something like that. I don't know, but blew my fucking mind away. I was like, so cool. What the hell is this, dude?
I think having that interactive experience with the audio, like as a viewer, I think just like it makes it so much more exciting, right?
Absolutely.
Like I think it's dope. I do wish that we had more like on track, like replay camera style. Like you had more of that. I think would be dope. But again, I think you can only do so much with what you have, and once
still
you go that level, like Sage will always say, like once they make that step forward, there is no going back.
Yeah,
so if you add 6 cameras,
now,
then you got to stay with 6 cameras.
Nope.
But if you're able to make I understand where they're at with it, but
that's fair.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Why do you like the RB?
Because of the sound, I've been always more of a fan of the JDM style and approach to drifting. It's a rolling car show, in my opinion. So, like, I don't care about competition. I don't care about winning, podiums, nothing. I don't care. I want cool pictures, cool videos, cool cars, just having fun, cool noises.
I like that.
I don't know.
I like that.
I like how simple the RB is too. That may sound very confusing to a lot of you, but they're a lot simpler than people make them out to be.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing.
I was dumbfounded.
I don't find it fair that like people like they put the whole weight of the entire platform based on what we've done, but like I had mentioned, like what we're dealing with and how we're building it, like for what we're using it for, is on a completely different level. Like nobody else.
Hopefully this settles some of the discrepancies going on with it.
Yeah, bro. Because like honestly, on the iron block stuff, for like what you like, you want to build a car around like 700, like the 14, right? Like that was a pretty basic build. Like that was a RB25 Neo, stock crank. It had pistons and rods in it, oil pump. I had an extended sump that my buddy made, and bolt-on drivetrain or valve train, like drop-in cams. I had standalone ECU, like, and that thing ran. That thing pumped like 750, 760, and it ran hard for a long time. So like,
you said 6.5 years, right?
That one made the most that one ever made. The Series 2 made 760, but we typically ran it around 690.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we typically.
How long did the Neo run then?
It ran for about 3 years.
Okay, so about half that. Yeah.
About half that. Yeah, and then I put it in the 15, and then the first year of the 15, a guy working on my team had plumbed the water pump backwards.
I remember that.
So
yes.
you were having the way that it would shoot past the sensor, you would never know, but inside. It was basically boiling the water inside the chamber, and you were getting these hot spots in the head, and that's what was cracking.
It was like warping it and stuff too.
Cracking it, dude. It would crack it behind the seat, even into the chamber, and like we just couldn't figure it out because in the data you can't see that.
How did you finally figure that out?
I got with my old tuner CODP, and he's like RB king, dude.
So he just like knew off the top of his head.
He looked at the car. I brought it in. It was right before Irwindale of 2021, and I brought the car to him. And he was like, "You're sure everything's right?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude. Like everything's good."
The amount of times people have said that to me. You sure you have this plumbed up right? You sure you've got that right?
Right.
It's like, as far as I know, I'm new to this RB shit, dog.
Yeah. As far as the data was concerned, everything was right.
Yeah.
But it took him. He looked at everything and he was like, "No, it's wrong." And he sure was right, bro.
You idiot.
Yeah, he's funny, dude. Koji's the man too, bro. Koji's great. Koji's great. But yeah, it wasn't till then. So yeah, unfortunately that motor suffered the same fate where it wasn't a total loss, but we did it did drop a valve where it bent some valves in there. But I disassembled the motor. I sold the block to somebody else, and they put it in. They rebuilt it, and they were like, "Yeah, it was the easiest short block we've ever put together." It was good. Yeah, it was super good. So yeah, it's running now in some car out in Texas. Actually,
no shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some street cars making like 800 or 900 or something like that.
Raise your hand if you're watching.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy it. So yeah, man. Yeah, again, what we're doing and how hard we're running the car, I don't think there's too many people that are really doing that.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have, like, 1,000 horsepower that you street and you whoop on it every once in a while, as opposed to a car that in a given year sees 600 miles, and every 600 miles it's on the limiter. being
Yeah.
driven hard, you know. The softest times are when it gets like cruised back on and off the trailer to the paddock, and everything past that point is just
the Long Beach cruise.
yeah. But anything, and I get like real, like I'm like, even on those videos of Larry and stuff, well, I baby it, dude. I have so much self-control, and it's like, what's ready right now? You know. But no, I'm very sensible, and it's like it's got like even real like top level racing, like they don't start the car, they push the car to the line, then they start it, and then they go, you know. So,
well, if let's just say someone was trying to build a simple 400 horsepower RB car, what would your suggestion be to their approach to that? What parts should they get?
You can get away with doing some light modification, but you know, RBs and LSs are really similar, where the head likes to accumulate, or the oil likes to accumulate in the head and doesn't want to drain back down fast enough. So on that, the Series 2 block that we had that lasted for a long time, that was actually a standard sump. I used an N1 oil pump with billet gears, and had the proper like we blueprinted the block, like you go in the block and you massage all the rough castings to get the oil to be able to, like, in theory, to be able to drain back down faster. Head drain, even with the Series 2, you even have another drain at the front. We even enlarged that and brought that to the pan as well. And putting the head drain on the appropriate side of the engine, so you have like the rotation, right? Well, in rotation and clockwise, it's pulling vacuum down this way, where people will put it onto the positive side. And if you don't have like a one-way check valve, which I still don't think you should put it that way onto that would be your passenger side on that rotation. You can increase windage that way, which you don't want. Windage is basically oil splashing up on the crank, and you don't want that. You want it to be going back to the pan, but having the vacuum effect of pulling that through the back of the head and back down into the pan. I would still say, with all of that being said, anything past 350, you're going to start seeing, like, the oil is going to start filling up catch cans. You really need proper crankcase ventilation. I think that's a big thing that gets lucked over, where people will have, like, a small catch can, and it's not enough volume for the crankcase to be able to breathe. So on that, I used to have, like, a large can that would sit right behind the shock tower, and then I also ran a secondary can along the frame rail. And having an increased volume of crankcase pressure or like ability to be able to vent out more crankcase pressure, it really stabilized things a lot better, where we weren't filling up cans as much. Like, I would still recommend.
How big of a catch can was it?
Pretty
like
big.
How many ounces do you think?
Pretty big. I don't know the typical ounces off the top of my head, but I could just tell you, like, it'd probably be around like this big. Probably like that big. And then I ran another one on the can. That would be, because you want to be able to vent, bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't use little small lines either. Use like dash 10 and higher. Do 12. Do 12s. Vent 12s out that thing. Let her breathe.
All right.
That's what you need to do. So, I would still recommend that if you're looking to do like 400 plus, build it for 8. Take the time, tear the motor down. Get some forged internals in there, get a good head gasket, do all the, like, you know, do the oil restrictor, do what you need to do. Yeah. And then that way, you want to run it in at 450, 500, run it there, it'll last forever. And then when you're ready to adapt your driving more, like, leave it there and drive it so you feel that this is the most that you can get out of the car. And then it's like, all right, well, now I'm ready for more. Go in there, do the appropriate, add the injectors, get the bigger turbo on there. And the hard work's already been done. Then you're just staging it up from there per how you want it.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's how I would go. Yeah. That's what I would recommend. I would, if you're gonna keep it around the 300 or whatever, bro. Even like when I had the 33.
I'm just gonna keep it around 350 for right now.
I think you'll be okay, just as long as you don't like just bury the limiter, because you got to think, when people are like, oh, you have to do the extended oil pan, like, you got to do it. That's true when you go up to the higher volume pumps, because now you're dealing with a pump that's moving higher volume. So now it's having the tendency to dry the sump out, because now it's pulling oil faster through the system. as before, you know, if you just do the billet gears, because that's with a crank collar extension too. Like, you should do that. You should take that to make sure that the oil pump drive is aligned properly, because the problem is that it is slightly misaligned, and the factory oil pump gears are made out of a sintered metal. It's like a cheap metal is what it's basically made out of. So if you put the billet gears in there, you have some strong gears, and as long as it has proper engagement, it's going to be fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's all those small attentions to detail that matter, that ensure reliability and longevity out of your setup.
Okay. Damn. All right. Because I want to stay with RB. Like, as long as this car is in one piece, I want it to be RB.
But you were saying that you pulled your motor from your buddy beat on it, and then you've been ripping on it, but it's got a sub boost leak or something.
There's a video out there somewhere of him going around Beach Bend, doing the LS Fest layout, and sitting on limiter the entire run. I mean, the entire thing.
Yeah.
And it just took it.
Yeah.
Overheated a little bit, of course, because it's fucking an RB. It'll get a little hot.
Well, inline 6. So inline 6s inherently are run hotter.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever told me that. What the fuck?
Do. All of them. Yeah, they all do. They all run hot.
It makes sense, because you literally see that all the time, but nobody's ever specified that.
They're always running hot, and especially when you put it into a, like Skyline and Supras. It's a bigger car, a larger engine bay, right? And you're typically able to retain, a factory fan shroud, and like clutch fan, right? Like, that is like superior. Like, even like front mounted radiator is superior. Like,
I still got that right, but I'm too front and shit. So
that's all good. Yeah, but like OEMs aren't stupid.
I've got a cunt hair between my fan and the crank pulley.
Oh, really?
It's close.
But yeah, man, I think it's just like when you're taking a large engine and you're putting it in a much more compact engine bay, like you're not able to retain a lot of the factory things that the engineers had set forth for that engine to run.
Fair enough, yeah. I actually have way more room now, oddly enough.
Front, right?
Yeah, but even without the tube front, you still have like a shitload more room compared to the VQ that's in it. The thing's fucking enormous, and it's really wide. So the RB is really skinny, and it sits really low, but the subframe is the problem.
So you have to go rear sump on that?
Yeah, you'd have to go rear sump.
That's good in itself, man. Because
I haven't done it yet. Because you can still make it work without it. It just, the oil pan sits really close to the subframe.
Got it.
So that's the way I have it now. But if I had the rear sump, I could kick it back like 4 inches, and it would be perfect.
I think you would definitely benefit from doing a rear sump stuff. That's what the LS guys are doing, and the JZ guys are doing too. Is they're you got to think about it, right? When you're hitting the accelerator and you're drifting, all the forces are shooting the oil back.
Right.
So that's how I have a tendency to pick up air.
Yeah.
So, which means you pick up air, your bearings are running dry, so it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. So I think for you, man, like if you pull that out, and I definitely would look into doing something like that.
Okay. Yeah. AK, I might be reaching out. You're gonna head on over to Njuka.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there any type of oil pan setup that you would suggest for that?
Off the top of my head, I know of only one company that.
There's a lot more that would go into that, because I'm gonna have to get a drive shaft and all that stuff too.
I think it's maybe something that you wouldn't have to change your drive shaft to change your oil pan.
Well, I would, because I'd have to kick the motor back further. It wouldn't fit unless I pushed the motor back further. Yeah,
I haven't put eyes on it.
But the motor mounts would line up perfectly with the stock ones if I did that.
I know of only one company that does it, and all it doesn't increase capacity. It just moves the location back. So I would prefer to probably have someone look into having you have it made for you.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's something that we should make, and we'll make it for you.
I'll bring the car out to Cali.
You can bring it here to Atlanta, bro. The guys at Kula take care of it.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck?
Way closer for you.
Yeah.
Tennessee to Atlanta is way closer.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that after. Yeah, way closer.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, let me know. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. Well, I guess, do you ever see yourself not running an RB in Formula Drift?
I mean, I'm not opposed to switching. I just want to know that, like, we're so far into it. Like, it is like, it's like my heart and soul into that thing.
Neck deep in it, dog.
Higher than that.
We're drowning.
Higher than that. No. But I mean, yeah, we've gone through it a lot. But I'm not. I mean, honestly, dude, I know what works. And then at the end of the day, we are here to win, and we're here to do well. I have faith in my team that we're able to do this. But I also look onto the horizons too, and I'm down to play with some other stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not opposed to it.
Is there any platform that you would totally jump the gun on? Because me, probably a bear.
See, I'm not about that.
Really?
Nah, man. I'll tell you this.
Love the bear.
I'll tell you this right now. If I were to do anything else, it has to be something where I can get parts for. Because
that's fair.
At the end of the day,
that.
what we're doing here, like, things need to have a fast turnover rate, and we need to be able to stay on course and to stay on track and do what we need to do. I will not go to a JP. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. But,
what's your reason?
You already know the reason.
Very fair.
But
take your guesses in the comments.
Yeah, no. And I think, honestly, bro, I think they're all sick. I think all engines are dope. But for me, it just has to go into something that we can readily find parts for, is easily serviceable, and can get the performance of what we're looking out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one thing that I did want to bring up along the lines of FD and the way you run your program is, I would say you're probably the best example in FD of the correct way to approach FD. Does that make sense?
How was that?
So,
from your perspective.
I bitch about it a lot on the podcast. People like wanting to make a career out of FD. Delusional. Stop, for one. But like, they'll say it because they want to drive with the best drivers and stuff like that. No, that's the wrong way. I would say you come more or less for the show aspect. Like, yeah, you would love to win, but you're putting on a show more than you're chasing a podium, it seems.
Well, I would say that I don't.
Like, obviously, yeah.
Well, no, like I
can,
but I don't support that to say that you can't make a career out of it, because I have made a career out of it.
Oh,
and
I'm not saying you can't.
Here have made a career out of it. No, I get it, but that was based what I was saying earlier, like the level. That's why it's like, I want to get like emotional about it, but it really takes all of your dedication to be here. And you have to have a business mindset to be here, and what is going to help elevate you and your partners around you to be able to continue to do this. Yeah. So that's I always put it as long-winded conversation.
Oh, I know. We could go all day, but yeah. You're gonna spend like 7 years just getting to the point where you want to somewhat be. So that's why I always reiterate that when this subject comes up, because like, I agree, you can make a career out of FD. I mean, there's plenty of guys doing it. I mean, you're part of it. Yeah. So, but I think you're doing it the correct way, where you're here to put on a show rather than just, because like, I don't know if you've seen the Nate Chen stuff with the entries, and did you see any of that?
No.
From the Gambler?
No.
Okay, so there's,
to be fair,
taking up the whole track.
You see how busy I am a lot. I try to keep up as much as I can, but it's like some of the things where I'm just like, when I come home, like I want to like kind of disassociate.
I want to do my own damn thing.
It's like I want to spend time with my lady and my dog, and I want to just like kind of have some home life and kind of like watch something else and not be associated.
Exactly.
I do stay current. I try to watch as much stuff as I can, but so can you bring me up to speed on it?
So I love Nate Chen. Not discouraging him or anything. A lot of people do this, but when people take up the entire track for an entry, that just, like, to me, it may seem comfortable for you to do that, but in a competition aspect, more or less a show aspect,
cuts
like
the chase driver off.
Yeah, like I would want to give the chase car their room to be able to put on the show as well, rather than just taking up the entire track for myself and saying screw you, you figure it out if you can.
It's a competitive, but you gotta think from a competitive mindset, right? If the rules are set into place that they're allowing you to do that, then people are going to be advantageous.
That's true, yeah.
To put themselves in the advantage. They're not there to set you up right. Obviously, they should be, well, because you want the same treatment, right? You want to treat others the way you want to be treated, so you do want a fair shake at winning. And typically, dude, if you are just doing what is asked of you, if you're able to put down a 100-point qualifying run, it's easier said than done for the chase driver to be able to do the same thing that you're doing. So it's best for you just to keep in your mind, just do what you're doing, and it's up to him. And if he's able to do it, he's able to do it. But a lot of the times,
I get that.
they're not able to do it. So don't overthink it and think that I got to do this crazy thing in order to win. Like, you can mainly just do what you need to do, and you'll more than likely, you know what you need, you know what your job is.
Yeah.
So
fill your zones.
And do it. Yeah, stay on your line, have some good style with your driving. Like, sometimes, like, taking up more of the track helps you feel better to set up for that. And drifting is dynamic in the fact that they give us the freedom to be able to approach the track and to kind of express ourselves in an individual manner, as opposed to, like, you need to do this one thing. You have to handbrake here. You have to clutch here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of give you the freedom to do that. So I would say that you kind of got to adapt to it to a point. Like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, unbiasedly, things I try to have an approach where I look at things from three-dimensionally, right? Like, not just from, like, what my own preference is, but, like, what is for the betterment of the sport.
I have a bad habit of looking at it too much in the viewer's perspective rather than the driver's, because I don't care about competition. So, like, it's hard for me to wrap. Well, I guess it's really not. I used to be very competitive in baseball, but
so you get it.
I just got all that out of me at a young age. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around it in drifting, because all I see drifting as is fun. Like, we're there to party, have
that's
fun.
What you're there for.
Exactly.
Right?
So
but if you were here to compete, you would feel a different way. And if you have that competitive background, then that would start clicking into your brain, and you would start.
I think I just need to do a competition once.
You should try it,
and then be like, all right, I understand.
You should try it. You should try it. You should try. I mean,
maybe one day.
I think dude, like, I love drifting through and through, man. You know, and that's why, like, you've seen in the past, like, I'd usually just use the 14 to go out and just, like, have fun, and I just love to drive, and then I'd have, like, another car set for competition. I've really taken a lot of that focus away and just really focused on just trying to make this as a competitor. I want to win. That's why I am here. Like, I am here taking it serious, because I will be there, and I'm going to make it happen. Like, it is going to happen.
I'm just glad you put the show in with it.
Well, that's what we're here for. It's still entertainment at the end of the day, and I love that people care to come down here and watch us just destroy our cars, you know, and like, it is for the end of the day.
We're sick, twisted human beings.
But I just think it's dope, man, and it's just a great opportunity for us to have a platform to showcase that, you know?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I guess just to hint on a couple little last topics, sponsorship stuff. What is your advice to anyone trying to gain more sponsors, just to simply put it?
Just try to find somewhere where you can help fit in where, you know, a certain company that could be beneficial to your demographic and to theirs. I mean, drifting is at the perfect demographic of 18 to 34 age range, which is like a prime target for most companies to want to advertise to. Like, what can you do that somebody else isn't doing? How can you add value? You know, and try to align yourself with brands and products that you currently already investing in. Like, if you found the necessity to buy that and invest into it, like, help spread the gospel of why that's possible, you know, or why that's important, and it's important for other people to want to make the same investment. Try to put yourself in the shoes of the consumer, and also put yourself in the shoes of the business owner and what they're needing in order to help further their growth. Not only necessarily from selling more products. At the end of the day, it is sell more products, but also to, like, help build their legacy and their foundation within the scene of drifting.
I've almost seen that, like, or I guess not seen, but I don't know, that the image is almost more important, right?
What do you mean?
Well, like, as far as the here and now, because, like, it's hard. Honestly, sometimes it's kind of hard to track, like, how many sales you're actually bringing in, unless you have, like, a certain analytics type link.
Yes, there's trackable ROI, right?
Yeah.
What we do predominantly is non-trackable. Even everything that they did with Ken Block and BJ Baldwin and all that stuff, dude. It's not like this BJ Baldwin video came out, and how did you know that I think when I was talking to someone back in the day when we were over there, and I think they did like Recoil 2 or something, and they were like, you know how many shirts we sold? And it was like, I don't know, a couple million or whatever of like views. They're like, yeah, we sold like 30 t-shirts. But you never know, bro. Like, someone could see that video 4 months from now and place an order for $10,000 worth of t-shirts.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But like, how do you track that? They didn't tell you that. They just put in the PO. So I think it's important to understand that, like, don't go about it that way. Just go about it to like, we're gonna help increase your awareness within the community. And I think that is a strong standing point, because at the end of the day, yes, the sales are important, but like having that legacy and that long-term standing within the community that people look up to and respect, I think is important.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, do you think being in California helps you on that front?
There's a lot of access
location
there.
based.
There's a lot of access there, but dude, you know, more of recent times, a lot of companies are moving out. People are shifting. A lot of companies are moving away from, you know, in-person sales and interactions to just e-com and, you know, Zoom meetings and whatnot.
Yeah.
So your location to me is, for me, is like, where can you go to get your parts done, like your metal supplier, your fittings, all that other stuff, like your shop, your people, like who helps you get done what needs to get done.
Yeah.
And then everything else, if you need to go have a meeting with somebody, man, you can go fly there. You can have an
book a
online
flight
call,
real quick, yeah.
email. There's a lot of other ways, so that's kind of irrelevant. Try to be in a place.
I've seen people try and make that point, and to me, it just doesn't make sense, because, like, I mean, everything's online now. So why do you need to be somewhere so close to a company in order to make that relationship better?
Well, we were talking about it earlier, right? Because I'd asked you, I was like, hey, like, I saw that you have your own studio, but then I also saw that, like, you'll go to other people too. So
that's
it's
a good
like,
example,
okay, if you can't come to me, then all right, then I'll come fly to you.
Yeah.
And we'll just make it happen.
Yep.
So it's that easy. You hop on a plane, you make it happen. So if you want to go make something happen, then just go make it happen.
Amen to that.
Welcome to 2024, brother. You go anywhere in less than 24 hours, you can typically be anywhere in the world, so, you know.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I need to, speaking of being in anywhere else in the world, I've never been out of the U.S. I need to get the fuck out of here and go somewhere.
Where do you want to go?
Japan, Australia, Ireland, now Spain.
Oh yeah, Spain.
Dude, I didn't realize the fucking drift scene in Spain was so big.
I think just Spain in general would be so rad.
Oh yeah, the architecture and stuff like that too.
Bro. Yeah,
I used to frame houses, so like I'm a little bit of a nerd about that stuff too.
Yeah. But if I could go anywhere, I want to go to Italy, bro.
Italy would be nice too.
Italy. Just to go. Then go.
I really want to go to Switzerland.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, and Switzerland's like right there.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful place. I saw a video the other day. It was like, Switzerland, there's no way it exists. I couldn't name one person I know from Switzerland, but everywhere else, I know somebody.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on. And then I thought about it, that Nuke's performance.
Yeah.
I was like, got him. I know people.
You know the guy, he drives in Stamberg. He drives the Mercedes, dude. Yeah.
Damn.
It's crazy how nice everyone is over there. Like, it's like against the law. Like, you talk to like Ola Jaeger and Osbo and Simon Olsen. I know they're from Norway, like up in that region, but like, I think it's against the law to be like rude or mean.
Yeah, hate speech is a thing.
I think it's really against the law.
Yeah. No, yeah. A lot of countries, nice. That's a thing, dude. Like, it's literally, you can't.
Is it actually a thing?
Do hate. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not like hate crime. It's like, you know, like you're like, you go to New York, you know?
Yeah.
You go to LA, like, people are a little bit brash.
It's emotional abuse. You fucking pussies. God bless. Yeah, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But
that guy Simon is probably like one of the nicest guys I've met. He's just a super dope dude. That is cool.
I gotta meet him. But all right, well, last 3 questions I always ask on every podcast. Okay. So the first one is, if you were to build actually, well, let's go off of this, because your guys wanting to get a 350Z now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just run with the 350Z. If I gave you, let's say, $4,000 to blow it in Juku, what are you gonna do to make the perfect seat time car to get started drifting?
You're gonna have to get some coilovers. I'd say get a bucket seat and a steering wheel, and a handbrake in a 350Z for sure.
Really?
Yeah, the stock handbrakes aren't
stock
great,
handbrakes
dude.
junk. Yeah.
Don't get rid of that. Get yourself a quality brake.
If you need to, go inline, but
And then you just weld the diff or shim it or whatever. Cut the brake wire, right? Is that what you gotta do?
I would suggest welding. Even if it's an LSD, they're garbage.
Are they?
Yeah, you gotta weld them.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Well, yeah, that would be what I would recommend right there.
Hell yeah.
Just keep it reliable, man. You know, like whatever. Obviously, like first and foremost, like make sure that like water pump, your oil pump, your belts, your hoses. Make sure all that stuff is good because you want it to be reliable. You want to be able just to go out there and just turn laps.
That's exactly what I did when I got mine. Because mine was my Z was a $600 car shell. Well, it had a blown motor in it. Came with a motor. That one had a rod knock. Bought another motor. And I did that exactly what you just said. All the seals, the front main, rear main, just like all the random bullshit that would normally go out. Go ahead and replace that shit as soon as it goes in.
Just do it.
I never had a single issue. Never even put a catch can on the damn thing.
That's what I'm saying.
And I never noticed oil being consumed. None of it.
I
It was
think
wild.
that the 350Z is probably like the best starter car today because you think about it, like you can find a fully running car for like $4,000. And with minimal upgrades past that point, like sub 10 grand, dude, you can have a car that makes almost 300 horsepower or around 300 horsepower and can drive all day, you know?
Absolutely.
Those are finicky too. Once you start going past a certain point, they start coming apart at the seams, you know what I mean?
This guy, don't boost one. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Rod bolts don't like that.
Yeah, not at all.
Head gaskets.
Best V6 on the planet, though. I will say that.
Is it?
I would say so.
Okay.
If you just leave them stock, those things will run forever. DE.
Don't
HR and up, a little iffy for me, but...
Don't straight pipe it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I did that. That was a bad idea. Well, it came like that. It wasn't my fault, but
okay,
still had cats.
You're fine.
Still had cats.
Yeah.
We weren't fully straight piped, but
you weren't fully Chewbacca out.
Yeah, a little bit quieter. But
Cool.
All right. Well, I guess what is your best piece of advice for just anyone getting into drifting?
Just have fun, man. Just don't worry about trying to be the best. Don't worry. I mean, if that's built in you and you have that drive, go for it. But go out there and enjoy it for what it is. Just have fun. Interact with the people in the community. They're some of the best people that you can meet in motorsport that just love to be there, love to have a good time. Make your friendships, make your connections, and just have some fun.
Absolutely. Nailed it. I agree. All right. Well, and then the last one is if you had the opportunity to give the entire world a message, what would it be?
Find your purpose in life, man. Find your purpose in life. Don't be stagnant and just work hard towards your goals every day. That's what
that goes back to the conversation we had earlier.
Yeah.
Just jump in with what you love.
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, well, that's pretty much all we got for this one. And do you want to shout anybody out? Plug yourself?
Shout out to all my sponsors: Sunoco, Extreme Sim Racing, Sim Magic, Kenda Motorsports, many more partners. And thank you for having me on the
Absolutely,
podcast.
Dude.
And yeah, you guys can find
We've been
me.
working on this one for like a year now, trying to get this one worked out, but you're all the way on the other side of the country compared to me, so
I bounce
that's
around
hard.
quite a bit, man. I bounce around quite a bit, so I'm glad that we were able to find time to sit down and lock down and find a time to do this, because we have been talking about it for quite some time to sit down and have some RB brethren talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some rad brethren.
First real RB guy I've had on the podcast, I think. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I feel really bad if I am, but whatever. All right. Well, actually, one more question. Who do you suggest I should have on?
You know what you should do? You should have Forrest Wang on.
Dude, I've tried reaching out. He's the only one that won't answer.
I know. I think it would be good for him.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How do you mean? Is he like camera shy almost?
A little bit. So
yeah.
I think it would help bring him out of his
vibe.
shell, and he could do it. I think he'd be great. Forrest has great advice and good insight on stuff too. So. Yeah.
Hey, let's poke the bear.
Let's poke him.
Go tag him in the comments.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all we got for this one. So I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Yeah, go smash that subscribe button below the video if it's still red. Don't let it be red. But that's it. See you each and every Sunday. Peace.
ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave her. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money, if you want, I can teach you. Whole life a movie, you can watch it in theater. Stacking money up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave her. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money, if you want.